All right, guys, welcome back. This is Earth Twister, and we're starting off with Apocalypse. We have kept the Magneto deck the same. There is no difference from the last battle to this one. Apocalypse is a little bit different of a villain also because you have to defeat a certain scheme in a series of schemes in order for him to be able to be defeated. So once we defeat these schemes, we'll set the tyrant's throne aside for now and reveal the heart of the empire, as it says in the setup instructions here. And once we defeat these schemes, then we'll be able to defeat him. So as we get going, let's remember Gene Pool will have 4 threat. Doesn't do anything for Apocalypse, but there are some minions in the deck that it will do stuff for. We do have standard 3, and it is on the wrong side, so we'll go ahead and flip it over to this side. And for setup, we're supposed to set aside each unused villain. So there's one underneath each prelate minion and the Tyrant's Throne side scheme, which we've set aside already. Then we reveal the Heart of the Empire. And the first player reveals a random set aside prelate. So I'm going to do this to try and shuffle it up without looking. You can't see my face, but I'm not looking at the cards as I try to do this. It's making it really difficult. Now I'm going to reveal the Shadow King. So the Shadow King is going to be our first prelate minion that we have to face down before we are able to take out that side scheme there. So we're going to set the rest of the minions aside. And Shadow King comes in with toughness. He engages me, of course. And let's give our encounter deck a good shuffle here. We'll go ahead and reveal the main scheme. It does start with 1 threat. And this scheme is special. X is the number, is the numeral in Apocalypse's printed hit point value. So that is 9 right now. And a force interrupt when Apocalypse would be defeated. Discard each attachment from him and heal all damage from him instead. And remove X threat from that scheme. So we just need to make sure that we keep that scheme down because we don't want to lose. We can lose by either him scheming out or by him defeating us. All right, I think the encounter deck has been shuffled pretty well. Let's go ahead and put that here. Let's shuffle up our player deck, which I haven't done too much with it. It is pretty well shuffled. I didn't take it apart or anything like that from the last game, so shouldn't have to shuffle too much here. And that seems about good. I'll put that right over here. I'm going to try and be a little more, make sure I have more space here. I've adjusted the camera every time I have finished recording, so this should be good. Now, Apocalypse hit points are set to 9, so let's go ahead and do that. There we go, 9. He does have steady and toughness, which means it'll take 2 confuses and stuns in order to confuse and stun him. Heart of the Empire here comes in with 2 threat. And my hit points are going to be set to 10. So we'll keep the hit point trackers over here. And just remember that they're there. And I do like to keep the tough status card on the villain hit point dial. Perfect. Everything's looking good. Let's go ahead and draw our first hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we get our encounter cards. First one, the villain will scheme. So that they can't stop him from scheming. That's it. That's game. We got so close. Yeah, we lost. Um, we'll pick this back up in a minute. All right, here we go. Attempt number 2. Let's give ourselves a quick shuffle up here. Make sure we're good to go. We got our health dials set. Apocalypse is set to 9. Magneto is set to 10. Let's get the threat here on Heart of the Empire. So there's 1, 2 threat there. We start with 1 on the Age of Apocalypse. And let's make sure, okay, pursued by the past is set correctly. Apocalypse gets a toughness, and Gene Pool gets 4 threat. There we go. All right, let's shuffle up the encounter deck. Shouldn't be too hard. We actually need to pull out our Nemesis set. Frenzy, Angry Acolyte, Martyr, Fabian, and Exodus. That should be the entire set. Let's shuffle this up. We'll move the set off to the out of play region. We'll make sure we get ourselves a prelate minion in play, and we'll begin. Hopefully this goes a lot better than the last time. That did not go well at all. All right. Here we go. This leaves play. Put it over here. Seems like I have a little bit more space. So I'm just going to move things around a little bit. I have, every single time I set up, I end up moving the camera because it's my phone. So there we go. A little bit of a gray area here. You can see the prelate minions. That should be okay. Let's go ahead and shuffle these guys up and try to do this without looking. Really should get my dice back out and use those for this kind of thing. All right. And we get Sugar Man. All right. He comes in with toughness and 5 health. Everything looks good, so let's go ahead and draw up our hand. X23, team training, Cyclops, team building exercise, inspired, and Children of the Atom. I think these 3 are the ones I'll start with this time. We'll move these 3 to our discard. We'll get Death Focus, an Energy, and an Inspired. It's actually a pretty good hand. We really can't do too much with it, so we're going to flip up. I am going to then go ahead and use Inspired to play Death Focus. And then we'll do our Magnetic Pool. Okay, we get Electromagnetic Blast. We'll use Energy to pay for Team Building Exercise. And then Electromagnetic Blast will pay for Children of the Atom, and we'll hold on to Team Training for later. All right. Although, yes, I cannot pay for that. All right. So Sugarman has toughness. Gene Pool has 4 threat. I can thwart for 2, which means I can clear this or reduce this. It may be worth reducing this for right now, just because that keeps the infinite minions from having quick strike. So go ahead and thwart for 2 off of here, bringing that from 4 down to 2. And we'll draw up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, I did have this card in my hand still, so I believe Magnetic Missile will actually go on top. Forgot about that. All right, so threat goes up by 2, bringing it from 1 to 3. Apocalypse will attack for 2 plus a boost. So 2. And let's see. I think I'll take this attack 2. And then he gets molecular control. So that's retaliate 1 and stalwart. Okay, so I didn't defend that, so I just take 2 damage. So I go from 10 down to 8. Sugarman will then attack. When Sugarman attacks, this attack gains piercing. If this attack defeats a character, heal through 5 from Sugarman. He'll attack me for 3. I'll defend for 2. I take 1 damage. Okay. And now we get an encounter card. Ooh, I was supposed to set this aside. Our encounter card is the Infinite Soldier, which thankfully he does not have Quick Strike because we only have 2 threat here, so he just comes in with guard. Not bad at all. Okay. Let's see what we want to do here. I think Beak would be pretty helpful if I had more come in. I think what we'll do, let's see, team building exercise, and then Beak and like team building exercise, then Beak and electromagnetic blast. If I could speak, are going to play X Jet, so we get that extra resource in, and then I will use magnetic pool, bringing magnetic missile into my hand, and I'll use the X Jet and Death Focus to play magnetic bubble. Those two plus magnetic missile will pay for the bubble. So again, I'm holding team training into my hand. I can't do anything else, but at least I get retaliate 1, which will knock off both of those toughs, and hopefully I will be able to deal with threat and damage. So we'll go ahead and ready up. Draw our hand to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The threat goes up by 2, bringing it from 3 to 5. Then Apocalypse will attack me for 2 plus a boost. 2, 3. He does get retaliated against, so his tough comes off. Sugarman will attack for 3. He gets retaliated against, and his tough comes off. And then Infinite Soldier will attack for 2. I'm going to go ahead and defend it, so I don't take any damage from him, and he gets retaliated against, taking 1. All right. Now we get an encounter card. Sinister Strike. Place one pursuit counter on pursued by the past. Then if it has any counters on it, the villain attacks you. I'm really glad that I defended the Infinite Soldier's attack. So now pursued by the past gets a counter. Apocalypse will then attack me for 2. And we put another counter on pursued by the past. So that does clear away my bubble. Ooh, the bubble would have been cleared anyways. So after Sugarman's attack, because I didn't read that fully. So he would have attacked me for 2. So I'm still only taking 2 from Apocalypse. 2, and we get another token there. All right. Not terrible. That was the encounter card, so now it is my turn. Let's see what we can get down now. We have more resources, which is good. Phoenix is really only good if I already have an ally in play. Magneto's armor will be good for getting stat boosts. Although, to be completely fair, it may be worth holding onto for a little bit. Triage is going to be good because it'll heal me, and team training will be good. Okay, so team building exercise and X-Jet will pay for triage. After triage enters play, heal 2 damage from an X-Men character. Heal up to 7. Then triage will thwart 1 off of Age of Apocalypse, bringing it from 5 down to 4. And I guess we'll use Phoenix and Asteroid M to pay for Magneto's armor. I do think so. Triage does get a consequential damage there. Team training is in my hand still. We'll go ahead and use Magnetic Pool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I get Master of Magnetism. So I've discarded basically a bunch of energy and mental resources, which means I get +1 thwart and +1 defense. The Master of Magnetism will be 2 resources to pay for team training, meaning Triage has an extra health. That's pretty good. Um, it's not the best situation to be in, considering I still have 2 minions and a few side schemes out. So let's hopefully get some of this cleared up next few turns. I'm gonna go ahead and draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And threat goes up by 2, bringing this up to 6. Apocalypse will activate. Triage will defend for 2. So he's attacking for 2, 3. That defeats Triage. Sugarman will attack for 3. I'll defend for 2. Take 1. Infinite Soldier attacks for 2. All right. Then we get an encounter card. Culling the Weak. Place 4 threat on Gene Pool. That brings that up to 6, which means any of these guys will get Surge and Quick Strike. Okay. Let's go ahead. Got a couple of good things here we can do. X-Jet, Def Focus, and Reinforce Suit. We'll pay for Metal Shards. Deal 7 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, gain a tough status card. So Metal Shards is going to defeat Sugarman. He goes to the victory display. And because it defeated him, we get a tough status card, which is absolutely fantastic. And then what we'll go ahead and do is we'll use Genius, or let's do Magnetic Pull to see if we get anything worthwhile, which we did. We got the Magneto's helmet. And we'll use Genius and Wrapped in Metal to pay for Magneto's helmet. Which still does not leave me with enough to pay for the Wrapped in Metal in my hand. It's a little unfortunate because I know I'll at least take 2 damage. I think I can afford for the scheme to pop once. So let's go ahead and flip down. That would put it at 8, and then he would scheme. Okay. So I get to put the top 3 cards in my discard, shuffle them back into my deck, and then we'll draw 6 cards this turn. So ready, and draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Utopia could be really good. All right. So the threat goes up by 2, bringing it from 6 to 8. Currently has a threshold of 9. Apocalypse will scheme for 2, and then he'll get a tough status. So that puts it at 10, which pops this. When the main scheme is completed, remove all threat from it, ignoring any crisis icons. Remove this card from the game and reveal Apocalypse 3. So there's Apocalypse 3. He has Steady and Toughness, and his health is 10. So we'll go ahead and bump up the health over here to 10 and leave the tough there. Now the Infinite Soldier will scheme for 1. And here's our encounter card. The Fittest. Attach to the minion with the highest printed hit points and give it a tough status card. Otherwise, this card gains Surge. So he gets +5 and one, +1/+1. Fantastic. That is exactly what I needed to happen. Okay. So first move, Eric Lensher is going to exhaust to heal for 3, bringing me up to 7. I did that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Means Utopia is actually on top of my deck, and this is in my hand. Hey. Okay, so I healed for 3. I'll flip up. Fortunately, even though that is the case, Strength is going to play Wrapped in Metal, so he just doesn't activate. Then each X-Men character, each X-Factor, X-Force, and X-Men character I control gains the X-Force, X-Factor, and X-Men traits. So I can use Team Building Exercise and X-Jet to pay for Marrow, who will come in, and she will do 2 damage to Apocalypse, removing his tough. And then she'll go ahead and attack Apocalypse for 2, taking 2 damage, 1 consequential and 1 from Retaliate. However, she survives because she has 3 hit points. Apocalypse goes down from 10 to 8. Then I'm going to use Magnetic Pool. I get a Metal Shards. So then Death Focus, Magneto's Helmet. I get a bunch of physicals. And a Mutant Mayhem will pay for Metal Shards to deal 7 damage to Apocalypse. I do lose my tough because of his Retaliate, but he goes down to 1 hit point. All right, so these are the last 2 cards in my hand. I can't do anything with them, so I'm going to draw up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Magneto's Cape is going to be a big, big thing here. Well, ready? Threat goes up by 2, bringing it from 1 to 3. I forgot to do anything about Gene Pool, which is terrific. But Apocalypse will then attack for 3 plus a boost. Marrow will defend 3, 4, 5. He does not have Overkill, which is great. He would attack, but he does not activate, and his text box is blank. Okay. Our encounter card is Hard Drive. Another minion in play. All right. My turn starts. I'm going to go ahead and I want to get Magneto's Cape down. So we'll use X-Jet and Magneto's Helmet to play his cape. Then I will thwart Gene Pool for 2, bringing it from 6 to 4. Then I'm going to use Magnetic Pool. I do get a Metal Shards, which is actually really good. That is a physical. I do get to ready for Magneto's Cape. I get +1 attack for this round. And what I will do then is use Death Focus and Death Focus, Mutant Mayhem, and Reinforced Suit to use Metal Shards to deal 7 damage to an enemy. And if it defeats them, I get a tough status card. So that defeats Hard Drive. I get a tough status. She does not have the same trait. So I will go ahead. I'm going to thwart two more off of Gene Pool because I'm not quite ready for another minion to come into play. So I have two cards left in my hand. I'm going to ready and draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means I do now shuffle my deck again. And get an encounter card. All right. Threat will go up by 2, bring it from 3 to 5. Apocalypse will attack for 3 plus a boost. 3, 4, 5, 6. That knocks off my tough. He cannot activate. And now I get encounter cards. The first is the Apocalypse Solution, which comes in with 3 threat. And the second is Biomorphing. Now he gains Overkill. Overall, all in all, worse things can happen. Um, but I think I have a pretty good hand to deal with some stuff. So, my first move is to... Oh, he has Guard. Shoot. Okay. So it's a bit of a waste. We're going to use Magneto's Helmet to play Magnetic Missile. Discard a minion with Wrapped in Metal attached. Then deal 5 damage to an enemy and stun it. I get to discard the Infinite Soldier. Which deals 5 damage to Apocalypse. And all that does is it removes threat. So it says, when Apocalypse would be defeated, discard each attachment from him and heal all damage from him instead, and then remove X threat from the scheme, ignoring any crisis icons. So he gets rid of those attachments and gets put back to 10 health. All right. Then I have these 4 cards left in hand. We're going to thwart for 2 off of Heart of the Empire. When defeated, the first player reveals a random set-aside prelate minion. Deal each other player an encounter card and flip the card over. Okay. So now we get a prelate minion. Go ahead and shuffle these up. And we get Mikhail Rasputin. Comes in with a tough, 5 health. And I will go ahead and use Magneto's armor, which is the magnetic pool. So energy and a wild. I get Asteroid M back in hand. Okay. That readies me. I'm going to go ahead and say that the wild was a mental. So I'm going to thwart for 3 off of the Apocalypse Solution. That gets rid of this. Discard. When defeated, discard top X cards of the encounter deck, where X is the numeral of Apocalypse's printed hit point value, which means it's 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that happens. Magneto's Cape readied me, I think. I don't remember how I did that. And I will go ahead and use Master of Magnetism to pay for Asteroid M. Move the health dials over a touch since we have the space. And Genius will play Moira McTaggart, leaving me with a Wrapped in Metal in hand The Towering Citadel does have 3 threat on it. I cannot do anything because of Mikhail. Alright. I think the best thing to do here is to flip down. And as I flip down, we'll trigger Asteroid M, which puts the topmost magnetic card in my discard pile into my deck, shuffles it back into my deck. So that gives me a Master of Magnetism back in my deck. And then I get to heal 1 from my identity. So next turn, when I flip up, Moira will give me an extra card. So heal 1 from my identity, 7, 8. All right. And we're going to draw up our hands. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. We ready everything up. Apocalypse will look at this and it'll go up by 3. They'll scheme for 2 plus a boost. 2, 3. Puts it at 6. And Mikhail will scheme for 2, putting it at 8. 8 of 10. Then we get an encounter card. Evil Alliance. Each Nemesis minion in play activates against you. If no minions activated this way, place 3 pursuit counters on pursued by the past. Which means we pop this. It flips over. We reveal our Nemesis minion and the side scheme and shuffle the rest into the encounter deck. Just exactly what I wanted to deal with. Okay. Exodus comes in with a tough. Martyr for Mutants comes in with 3 threat. Alright, that is the end of the villain phase. I'll do that. I'm going to heal for 3. No, I'll just trigger Asteroid M again. We'll get Wrapped in Metal shuffled back into my deck. And I get to heal for 1. Then I'll flip up. And I will start chipping away where I need to. So first off, Magneto will attack Exodus to remove the tough there. And Magneto's helmet, along with Master of Magnetism, will pay for metal shards. Deal 7 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, get a tough status card. Exodus is defeated, so I do get a tough. I'm going to pop out new recruits, put 2 threat on it. I wish I had more ways to ready. I forgot to trigger Mora. Alright, so 1, 2, and then I can't pay for that. But we use team building exercise. No. First of all, we're going to use magnetic pool. 1, 2, 3. So I do have, that's energy, fist, and mental. So I get a bonus on all my stats. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's magnetic bubble. Okay. So Def Focus, I do get to ready. Def Focus, X-Jet, and Reinforced Suit will pay for magnetic bubble. It'll help me live through the round. I will thwart for 3 off of Martyr for Mutants. Get rid of that side scheme. I have to discard the top 9 cards of my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I did that. New recruits is out there still. So I have Wrapped in Metal and X-23 in my hand still. I will go ahead and ready in my turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Oh, I forgot all about the Age of Apocalypse. Threat there goes up by 3, which pops this because it was at 10, which means he goes to his final form. He gets a tough status card back, and he goes up to 11 hit points. Shoot. Then Apocalypse will attack me for 3 plus a boost. 3. I do have Magnetic Bubble. I believe the tough would pop off first. So 3, 4, 5. I take no damage here. He loses his tough to a retaliate. Mikhail will attack me for 2 and loses his tough due to a retaliate. And then we get our encounter card, Wolf Among Sheep. The prelate minion activates against you. Otherwise, Apocalypse activates against you. So I get attacked again for 2. And he takes 1 from retaliate. That was actually pretty good. All right. I think what I want to do here, I'm going to use X-Jet and Team Building Exercise to play Utopia. I have so many cards. All right. So I have Utopia there. I don't have a whole lot I can do. I'm going to thwart 2 off of new recruits. When defeated, each player chooses 1 set aside new ally and adds it to their hand. I've been taking Annul. It may be more helpful right now to get Surge. So we'll go with Surge. We'll add Surge to our hand. And what can I do here? I've got that as a resource and that for superpower. So I could use Electromagnetic Blast, but I have to defeat Mikhail before I can really do that. But I could also use Metal Shards to defeat him. Let's go ahead and use our Magnetic Pool. We did not get anything lucky out of that. We got an extra thwart. And we do get to ready from Magnetic Pool and an extra defense. So, but no extra cards. Um, the tough is going to be more valuable. So we'll do Death Focus, Magneto's Helmet, and Wrapped in Metal to play Metal Shards. Deal 7 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, gain a tough status card. That does, fortunately, defeat Mikhail Rasputin. So I get to get a tough status card. Then I'm going to, since I do have a boosted thwart, I'm going to thwart for 3 off of the Towering Citadel. When defeated, the first player reveals a random set-aside prelate minion. Deal each other player an encounter card, and reveal the Tyrant's Throne side scheme and remove its card from the game. And remove this card from the game. So, then we get the Tyrant's Throne that comes into play. And we get a new prelate. Which is the Shadow King. Just perfect. All right. Then we will give him a tough X-23 and Electromagnetic Blast. We'll play Surge. I do get an encounter card because of all that. Surge comes in, Utopia triggers. And the Tyrant's Throne has 4 threat on it. Okay, shuffled up there. 4 threat. And the Shadow King has 5 health with a tough. Right now, I thwart for 3 and defend for 3. I think it's going to be more worth for me to ping off his tough. Surge will attack for 3. And take a consequential. I still have Magnetic Bubble, so I can afford to take a hit from Apocalypse. And then the Shadow King will get retaliated against. No, he won't. He won't get retaliated against. Well, I do have my tough, so that would fall off first. Okay. So go ahead and ready everything up. Draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty good hand. Everything's been readied. Threat goes up by 4. Apocalypse will attack for 3, 4, 5. There goes my tough. He gets retaliated against. Shadow King will attack me for 1. And my ally with the highest thwart. I can either discard it or add the threat here. That'd be 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I can afford that. I think I just need to remember to pay to thwart it down. So that's at 6. And then we get our encounter cards. Hopefully there's no scheming. We get Frenzy, who has Quick Strike, attacks me for 2, which pops my bubble. And Dark Designs. Dang. He's going to scheme for 3, 4. Oh, gosh. That's okay. That is okay. Because that's only 10 out of 11. Okay. Woo. Okay, we barely made it out of that. Okay. I think we're gonna be okay. All right. Need to make sure I thwart that down, but I also need to deal with these minions. So, team building exercise, X-Jet. We'll play triage. Not yet, not yet. I will attack Shadow King for 2, which defeats him. And then I'll use Magnetic Pool. 1, so I get Master of Magnetism. So I get +1 on my thwart and +1 on my defense. I get to ready for Magneto's cape. Magneto's helmet. Def focus. And no, Magneto's helmet. So def focus. I'm gonna have to pause here real quick. Okay. So Magneto's helmet, def focus, and magnetic missile will pay for metal shards to defeat Frenzy. Deal 7 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, gain a tough status card. Frenzy is defeated. We get another tough. And then we could do, yeah, so we'll do team building exercise and X-Jet with Master of Magnetism to play Beast. Again, I'm going to wait just a minute on that. because I haven't used myself yet. So what I'm going to do first, I do get a bonus on thwart, so I'm going to thwart 3 off of the Age of Apocalypse, and Surge will thwart 2. Surge will get consequential. Then I'm going to go ahead and use Master of Magnetism with X-Jet and Team Building Exercise to play Beast. Beast will trigger Utopia, which readies me. Beast comes in and brings Master of Magnetism back to my hand. Great. What I want to do now then is I will use Master of Magnetism as 2 resources to pay for triage. No, I'll pay for Marrow. Marrow will come in, and as Marrow's response for coming in is to do 2 damage to an enemy, I'll go ahead and do 2 damage to Apocalypse, bringing him from 10 down to 8. Then I will thwart 3 off of the Tyrant's Throne. Beast will thwart 2 off of the Age of Apocalypse. And Marrow will thwart 1 off the Tyrant's Throne. So both of them get consequential damage. 1 each. When defeated, the first player reveals a random set-aside prelate minion, deal each other player an encounter card, and flip this card over and reveal no longer worthy. He's no longer worthy, but we get one of these 2. I'm not looking at it. We get this, who comes in with a tough status. So when he activates, he'll get +2 from a face down encounter card, or a face down card in front of him. Okay. Oh, so he does heal up to 11. So there was no point in me attacking him. That's okay. I should have done that in a different order, but you live and you learn. I'm going to go ahead and ready up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Threat only goes up by 1 right now, which is fantastic. Apocalypse will attack me for 3 plus a boost. 3, 4, 5, 6. Tough falls off. And Abyss will attack me for 2 plus a boost. I'm going to go ahead and defend it. So I take no damage from him, but he does get the top card of my deck. Then we get an encounter card. That's the last one. We get Fabian Cortez, who comes in with Guard. The defeating player discards the top 4 cards of their deck. Okay. So that is the end of the encounter deck and the villain phase. Just don't feel worried right now. Maybe that's not a good thing. All right. There we go. Alrighty. So, first thing is first. We're going to use energy to pay for Beak. After you play Beak from your hand, remove 1 threat from a scheme for each X-Men ally you control. Control 1, 2, 3, 4. All that threat goes away. Beak will ping the tough off of Abyss. Surge will do the last attack she can to do 3 damage to Abyss. Beak will take that consequential. Surge will be defeated. Then Beast and Marrow will each do 2 damage to Abyss which does defeat him. And that was Pixie. All right. They'll each take a consequential damage for that. And we'll actually move Beak up into play right here. I'm going to use the Magnetic Pool. So Electromagnetic Blast is the card that comes into my hand. And we got Physical and Energy. So +1 on defense and +1 on attack. Magneto's Cape readies me. I will go ahead and use Team Building Exercise, X-Jet, and Magnetic Missile to pay for Phoenix. After Phoenix enters play, choose an X-Men ally. Ready that ally and heal damage from it. So we'll ready Beast and heal damage from him. I will attack Fabian Cortez for 3. Phoenix will attack for 1. That defeats Fabian. Phoenix takes a consequential. I did forget to put an acceleration token here, so let's go ahead and do that. It may not be even necessary. Beast will then attack Apocalypse for 2, taking him from 11 down to 9. Phoenix would have triggered Utopia, which readies me. Death Focus and Magneto's Helmet will use Electromagnetic Blast to remove all the threat from Gene Pool. And I will attack Apocalypse for 3, taking him down to 6. So one more turn and we win. We're in a really good spot. Let's ready up. Phoenix can come up here. Now, normally, you are only allowed to have 3 allies, but since all of my allies have an X-Men trait, Utopia allows me to have an extra ally. Okay. Go ahead and draw up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm actually interested in playing this card. I think that'll be fun. All right, so threat goes up by 2. Apocalypse will attack for 3 plus a boost. Beak will defend 3. And he gets a tough. Thank you, Beak, for defending. And the encounter card happens to be Sinister Strike. So he's going to get a pursuit counter on Pursued by the Past and attack me. So 3 plus a boost. I think I'm actually going to take this. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's rough. That takes me from 9 down to 3. And now it's my turn. So what I think I'm going to do, Beast will thwart for 2. Getting rid of this. And Gene will attack for 1, getting rid of his tough. Then I'm going to use Strength and Wrapped in Metal to play Mutant Mayhems. Choose an X-Force ally and an X-Men ally and return them to their owner's hands. Those players play those allies, ignoring their resource cost. So I'm going to return Phoenix. I'm going to return Phoenix and Beast to my hand and play both of them ignoring their resource cost. After they each interplay, I still get to trigger their things. So Beast is going to give me a strength, and Phoenix is going to heal a damage from Marrow, I guess. I'm going to attack for 2, taking you from 6 to 4. Beast will attack for 2, taking him down to 2. And Marrow will attack for 2, defeating Apocalypse. And we still had some other things we could do in our hand. That was fantastic. I'm glad we won that round. That took a long time. The first game took forever, and now we're here. I'm sorry for the last bit of camera glitch, but hopefully that won't be too bad. There it is again. We're going to go ahead and end this video here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for Dark Beast.